Welcome to Capital One Bowl Mania.
We welcome you to Memphis, home of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And today, the fourth meeting all time and the first since 1961 between West Virginia out of the Big 12 at 5-4 and the cadets of the United States Military Academy. One of the feel-good stories of the 2020 college football season at 9-2. And this is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And with Roddy Jones, West Durham, you'll meet Eric Wood here in just a moment. Jeff Monken's 7 years at West Point have really been punctuated by one thing, Roddy, the ability to run the football.
It sure has, Wes. And this offense is pegged as a triple option offense, but this run game is really extensive. Yes, we will see traditional triple. We'll see some midline, but you're also going to see trap, belly, zone read, a little bit of ISO. It is extensive what they do. They've had a ton of guys touch the football, and obviously one of the most prolific offenses in all of FBS. 10 different guys have scored touchdowns. There's a chance we could see a lot of Army Black Knights carrying it today.
Well, and when you talk about running the football in Monken's tenure with the Black Knights, they have done a fantastic job doing it in FBS.
Well, when you run it as much and as well as they do, you're going to end up in the top 5 in rushing in the country. It's part of what they do. The scheme here is to play complementary football. Control the ball, go for it on fourth down, put pressure on the opposing team's offense by keeping them on the sideline.
Well, the Mountaineers of Neil Brown, who's in year 2 at Morgantown, have played just one ball game in the last 45 days. A very disappointing loss at Iowa State to end what was their regular season. They're excited today because they get to get their offensive battery going again.
Yeah, they certainly do. And Neil Brown is really excited about what 2021 is going to bring. And it starts with these two guys. Jared Dagey, the second leading passer in all of the Big 12, has been incredibly efficient this season. He's taking care of the football a ton. Coming off a very disappointing game, as you mentioned, against Iowa State, though. But it all starts with this guy, Letty Brown. 5 100-yard rushing performances this season. Second leading rusher in the Big 12. He has been absolutely fantastic. This offense is best when it runs through him.
Well, Letty Brown has been sensational, and Neil Brown, now in his second year at Morgantown, he was 3-0 in bowl games at Troy. This is his first trip to the postseason with the Mountaineers. And Jeff Monken, 7 seasons at Army, and he is 3-0 in bowl games. And that sets the table for Eric Wood. And we all know 2020's been different, Wood. Bowl games especially so.
You're right, Wes. Generally, for the week of a bowl game, both teams will have lots of fun activities lined up at the location of the bowl game. 2020 has provided a different scenario. West Virginia tried to emulate a bowl week in Morgantown. They did the Mountaineer Mayhem games. They took their players snow tubing, and they also did 10 days of bowl gifts for them. On the other hand, in West Point, the cadets continued their normal routine, which involves 5:30 a.m. wake-ups, barracks inspections, and something I would never pass, a haircut inspection. After talking to the coaches and players, though, both of these teams are extremely grateful and excited to be playing in this game. Back to you guys in your warm, dry booth up there.
That's right. It's a gray, rainy New Year's Eve in some ways, scripting the 2020 college football season, which has been difficult to say the least. And when we talk about the Army here, Roddy, we're talking about the ability to potentially win double-figure games for the third time in Jeff Monken's 7 seasons.
It's absolutely incredible. This is an Army program that has more 10-loss seasons than it does 10-win seasons. Jeff Monken has made it seem regular for a program that before he came in really was struggling on the football field.
Well, Army won the toss and elected to receive, or to defer, so West Virginia will receive to start the ball game. And it was interesting in our visits with Neil Brown and with Jeff Monken, we both talked about the first possession of the game. And you see the fourth meeting all time, the first meeting since 1961. You want to go back to November 1941 to when the series started. Red Blake was in his first year before his College Football Hall of Fame career at West Point. His opening season, they beat West Virginia 7-6 at West Point. Their last meeting, though, 1961, the Mountaineers won the ball game 7-3 on the way to a 4-6 campaign. So here's Army, won 3 straight, 7 of the last 8 along the way, captured their 9th Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and won 3 of the last 4 of those, by the way, in Monken's 7 seasons as well.
And it's amazing to do that in a year like 2020 when it's been trying for all of us, especially trying for these cadets. The fact that Army was even able to get a schedule together in a year like this is an incredible feat, and these guys deserve the opportunity to play in a bowl game.
Well, so we'll see Army in white with the gold helmets, kick it away to West Virginia wearing the all blue. And that means we get Winston Wright, number 16, Alex Sinkfield, number 20, deep for the Mountaineers. And we're about ready to go here from Memphis. And Landon Salyers will kick it away for Army. And the AutoZone Liberty Bowl underway. And this is Wright from the 7. And he will break the 20 and be brought down there. And we get a look at the Mountaineers on offense and a group that was 43rd nationally at 422 and 7/10 yards.
And the improvement from year 1 to year 2 for this offense really came in the rush game. We'll talk about a lot here today, but Jarrett Dagey has done an incredible job this season taking care of the football. Only the 3 interceptions this season, and that despite leading the Big 12 in attempts. He's just thrown the ball a ton. Neil Brown's put a lot on his plate. Jarrett Dagey has done a fantastic job of embracing it.
So Jarrett Dagey, who started his college career at Bowling Green with Letty Brown out of Philadelphia at the running back spot. And Dagey to throw on first down. Bryce Ford Wheaton the catch. He did not play in the final regular season ball game at Iowa State. Picks up 6 there on first down. We talk about Army's run game, Roddy, on offense. Their defense has been very good this year too.
It certainly has. It's been a complementary effort. The offense keeping the ball away from the opposing team's offense helps a ton in that regard.
Second down, and here's Brown's first carry. First down and more for Letty Brown. Out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 13 for Brown, who was first team all Big 12, as Roddy told you, 22nd nationally, better than 100 yards a game.
I mean, this guy has been incredible at the running back position. Often makes the first guy miss, gets the extra yards. This offensive line has improved, but it hasn't been perfect this year. Letty Brown has made them look great.
So first and 10 for West Virginia. That was Brown out of the backfield in motion. They tried to go back to him for a screen, and it got knocked away incomplete. First miss of the day for Dagey.
We're going to see a ton of this today. It's a big part of West Virginia and their offense. The screen game, whether it be tunnel screens, bubbles, the screen game is extensive for this West Virginia team. That one just a little out of the reach of Letty Brown. It's a wet day too, Wes, so keep an eye on that and how these guys are able to track the ball in.
You see the pistol set. And now Dagey goes under center here for second in the full 10. That's Sean Ryan in motion. And Ryan around the corner for just a couple of yards. And it looked like Spencer Jones hustled over to make the play, along with Jabari Moore. Now we'll keep an eye on Jones today because he's going to play a big role as you see him come off here for 3rd and long, because Army does not have John Radigan available.
John Radigan, their leading tackler, one of their most athletic linebackers, is out. Let's see, Army's trying to confuse West Virginia up front.
So 3rd and long, Dagey now escapes, trying to pick it up, and he might be right at the number before Eric Smith hit him.
This is the part of Jarrett Dagey's game that I don't think he gets enough credit for. Doesn't like what he sees, tucks the ball, and is a pretty good athlete. See him kind of diving for the first down. We'll see where the spot is. He actually missed Winston Wright, Wes. He had him open down the field, but was looking to the opposite side. Either way, he's going to be close. Whether they get it or not, this is going to be interesting. The cat and mouse game on 4th downs. Neil Brown talked to us about it. They're normally aggressive. Let's see the measurement.
Got it. So the 8-yard run by Dagey produces another first down opportunity here for West Virginia on the opening drive of the game. And so the Mountaineers, who started from their own 23-yard line, now into Army territory on the opening possession. And Roddy, we joke about this opening possession, but Seriously, it was a point of conversation about how you want the ball and you got to keep the ball. Here's Daggy again, moving to the right side. He'll hit the tight end. This is O'Loughlin. Mike O'Loughlin, the redshirt sophomore, with a nice catch. And the former wide receiver, now bulked up to tight end, did a pretty good job on his first catch.
He's a really big part of this offense. You saw him earlier. He kind of sprung Letty Brown on that big run that Brown had. He's going to get involved in the pass game too. But for this Army defense, we talked to Nate Woody about it. You mentioned the first possession.
Right.
Nate Woody told us that they have not had a nickel or dime package on the field in the better part of a month. So this is a big adjustment.
Second down, quick throw. Double clutch by T.J. Simmons. And falls forward toward the 41-yard line. Andre Carter, sophomore at the dog backer. Nate Woody kind of plays a 3-3-5, Roddy.
Yeah, and they've played in their last 3 games, West Virginia, today, Air Force, Navy, and Georgia Southern were their last 3. So it's a lot of option that this Army team is seeing, not to mention seeing the option in practice too.
You see T.J. Banks in motion. They give it to Letty Brown on third down. First down and more for Brown. Dumped over at about the 34-yard line. Marquell Broughton out of the secondary with the stop after an 8-yard gain.
It's a nice little inside zone play that he bounces to the outside. He's able to find a crease and get the first down.
A little bit of tempo here for the Mountaineers. Daggy, quick throw. And could not hang on. Looked like Sean Ryan, the 6'3 junior from Brooklyn, New York, was the intended wide receiver. And Boudreaux was there in coverage.
There's a couple of things that bothers quarterbacks and wide receivers. Cold and wet. And today it's both of those things. It's hard to grip that ball if you're a quarterback when it's cold, and even harder when it's a slick, hard ball like we've got.
I don't know, we'll check with Eric in a moment. I bet linemen are in that group too. Another quick throw. Sam James working his way to a first down. That'll be down near the 21-yard line. And this is a youngster, redshirt sophomore James, who did not play in the final ball game at Iowa State to close the season.
It's just like one of those where Jared Daggy has the option to hand it off or toss it out to Sam James. He's a guy that they are really excited about, a young player who's got a lot of length. He's a real playmaker for him.
Yep. Give to Letty Brown and a big play. Army busted right through there. Cedric Cunningham, the free safety, came calling. He had help too from Malcolm Morrison.
He certainly did. He comes off the backside and is able to track down Letty Brown and get West Virginia behind the chains. It's going to be a big part of this game. Can you create negative plays? Certainly against Army on offense, but it's important for their defense too to make West Virginia predictable. This is one of the most balanced units in the league.
Second and a dozen here. Almost 5 minutes gone on this opening drive of the ball game, and Brown trying to find a crease, bounced it outside, picked up about 4. Jabari Moore, he's one of the 3 guys that defensive line coach, or offensive coordinator Gerard Parker was talking to us about here, that you got to keep an eye on number 4 for Army, and that was Moore there.
Yeah, there's a lot of familiarity between Jabari Moore and this coaching staff. He's a guy out of Alabama. They had their eye on him when they were at Troy. So they know him well. He's singled up one-on-one to the top.
You see T.J. Simmons in motion. Daggy to throw. And overshoots the tight end. That's Banks. So the incomplete pass will stall the West Virginia drive. And that means Tyler Sumter, who is a transfer from Troy, comes onto the field. He's 2 for 2 in field goals. His longest was a 36-yarder in Ames at the end of the regular season against the Cyclones of Matt Campbell.
And technically this, I don't know if this will count as a red zone possession for this Army defense, but this is the second best defense preventing touchdowns in the red zone. We'll see if West Virginia can take advantage and get points.
37-yard try. And the kick on the way, and no good. So West Virginia threatens, can't put any points on the board. Jeff Bunkin's team's got it next.
Is a special presentation of ESPN, home of the college football playoff, semifinals on New Year's Day.
AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, and the first carry of the game to Tyler, the redshirt sophomore at quarterback. And Samito makes the hit. Josh Chandler Samito, the junior linebacker from Canton's McKinley High School. Former McKinley Bulldog makes the tackle. So here comes West Virginia's first test against the spread option of the Army. And we'll keep an eye on Darius Stills playing right over the top of the center, Connor Bishop. And that is a big hit right there. Wow. Scotty Young, the transfer from Arizona, wastes no time having an impact as we get a look at Tyler. Roddy.
He's the first of what we expect to be a few quarterbacks here playing for Army. He's probably the most elusive of the guys that we'll see. Not a big thrower, only 4 attempts on the season through the air.
Third and the full 4 here for the Cadets. And that play had no chance. Busting through that time, Jeffrey Pooler. Goodness.
One of the ways to stop this thing before it starts is to force the center back and have him have the quarterback trip over his foot. It's a really nice job by Darius Stills, the All-American, just pressing the center back, forcing his foot in the path of the quarterback, and getting a stop on third down.
Zach Harding is the Army punter. Sinkfield backtracks to take the punt inside the 20. And he'll run to the 30-yard line, and that's where West Virginia will start its second possession. 57-yard punt for Harding. Back after this.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, brought to you by AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone, and FedEx. Possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
Well, hard to believe, 1982, this contest saw Paul Bear Bryant's final ball game as Alabama's coach. Was his 323rd win. They beat Illinois 21-15, and the Bear left us less than 4 weeks after the ball game. West Virginia's second possession starts from its 30, and the throw to Banks, the tight end, down to midfield.
The pass from quarterback Garrett Dagey, complete over the middle to number 85.
Jabari Moore on the stop, Roddy, and here comes West Virginia.
They go off play action. They hit the tight end up the seam. TJ Banks, that's only his 4th catch of the season. It's a chance we can see a lot of guys that we haven't seen a ton of in this game. It's an opportunity for Neil Brown to see what he has going into 2021. TJ Banks going to be a big part of that.
And off the hands of Simmons, incomplete. Is it ruled a fumble? No, incomplete. Atlantic Coast Conference crew on the whistle today. And coming up on 2nd and 10, let's take a look at today's impact players. And they are brought to you by Lexus, Roddy.
And when you take a look for West Virginia, Letty Brown is the key. In all of their losses, West Virginia's had under 100 yards rushing. They're going to try and get Brown going. And then Dylan Tonkery moving to the Mike linebacker position in this one for Army. Sandon McCoy, get that fullback going. Then Eric Smith, the linebacker in the middle, is going to have an outsized impact because of the fact that John Radigan, their leading tackler, not playing here today.
You see O'Loughlin in motion. And Letty Brown the carry. And there goes Spencer Jones, who did not play against either Navy or Air Force, but has been asked to kind of fill that role of Radigan today, making a stop.
Well, Spencer Jones, we were told by the coaches, is kind of an Eric Smith type player. When he hits you, you stop moving and you go backwards. You saw it right there. Able to knife through. Army's had a lot of success with their pressures, especially in the run game against West Virginia. Let's see what they opt to do here.
3rd and 12 for the Mountaineers.
Looks like they're going to drop 8, Wes.
Dagey with time. Got to find a guy. Spins it. Picked. Intercepted Boudreaux. And knocked out of bounds near the 45 by Simmons. Momentum play for Jeff Monken and the Black Knights.
Bordeaux returns the ball into Mountaineer territory near the 45.
As you would expect, Wes, Army, one of the best teams in the country in turnover margin. There's just nowhere to go. It's a four receivers out in the route. Jared Dagey has nowhere to go. You see Boudreaux kind of playing in between, reads the quarterback's eyes, an excellent break, and is able to track down the ball on a wet and rainy day. And a nice return gives Army great field position for their second possession.
Fourth interception of the year thrown by the Mountaineers, and the 14th interception of the year for Nate Woody's defense at West Point. And both stills moved early. Take your pick, Darius or Dante. Darius the senior, Dante the junior. I'm going to give that one to Darius.
Yeah, it was basically a race to the quarterback on that one. You can tell what Army talked about on the sideline. It's a very rhythmic cadence, and it looks like Army says, all right, we're gonna mix it up here.
Yeah, and on that third down play prior on their last drive, the center, Connor Bishop, got blown up. You know what you do as a center when you go to the sideline? You say, hey, we need a double count. We cannot let these guys jump the snap. That's exactly what they did there.
On the carry, number 23, Anthony Atkins for the Black Knights.
It's Anthony Atkins on the carry.
23, Leo Rowan.
And it looks like West Virginia is going with a setup where both of their defensive tackles are inside the guard. You've got a 2-eye on one side and a shade on the other, trying to make it really difficult on the center no matter which way they go. Be interesting to see how Army counters that, as we've seen a ton of negative plays already early in these possessions.
Second down and 6 it is. Tight formation again here for Jeff Monken's team. Tyler on the keep, got hit by Chandler Speedo right away. West Virginia, Roddy's done a pretty good job defending this early, haven't they?
They certainly have, and it's kind of a feeling out process. Jeff Monken told us they have no idea how West Virginia is going to line up. Typically when you have these option offenses, you go through and look at the history of who they have on their staff and try and piece together which way they're going to go. So these first couple of possessions are just feeling it all out.
This is third down, and straight ahead McCoy, the B-back if you will. And he got knocked down by Mesidor, Akeem Mesidor, who's had an outstanding season. True freshman from Ottawa, Ontario.
And Wes, it's funny, you saw West Virginia get up and celebrate. That's a pretty good play for Army. They just wanted to cut that third down in half so they could go for it on fourth. And now they're going to do it. That's the mindset that has to change for West Virginia on defense. You got to play all four downs, no celebrating on third.
And no surprise here, they're 22 of 31 on fourth down this year. Here's Tyler, tried to pick it up, not going to get it. So the interception by the Army does not return a profit, as the Cadets give it back to the Mountaineers on downs. 4:20 to go, first period. Still no score at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis. AutoZone Liberty Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Mania with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, Wes Durham, scoreless here in the first period of play in Memphis. And happy New Year's Eve. Daggy and Brown in the backfield, and Letty Brown trying to find something to the left side. Boy, well played. And that time Jordan Funk, redshirt freshman, in there to make the play for Army.
The exception of a couple of runs on the first drive, Army's done a nice job against the run, especially on first and second down. Talked about the fact that West Virginia likes to have balance. That means running the ball on first down, and Army's been able to create some negative plays there.
And Letty Brown out of the gun and a strong run to the 45. It'll leave about 3rd and 3 to go for West Virginia. 9-yard run for Brown, who second in the Big 12 and 15th nationally, coming in with 945 yards on the campaign.
It's a really nice double team by Zach Frazier, the left guard, and Chase Barrett, the center. that created that hole. You cut off the backside, and Letty Brown had a ton of room to run.
And West Virginia going with a lot of young guys in that offensive front today for Neal Brown. High snap. Brown took the fake, and then they tried to make the throw to Ford Wheaton, and we got a flag on the play. And it might be on Julian McDuffie.
Julian McDuffie's in good position here. You see the grab because of the slip.
Defense, 10-yard penalty, and an automatic. First down.
And that is Stuart Mullins of the Atlantic Coast Conference, who headlines the crew here today at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
It's one of those scenarios you almost wish it was a pass interference, because if it was under 15 yards, so it just would have been a spot foul penalty, but because they call holding, you get the full 10.
Yeah. Play fake again. Daggy with time, wide open, middle of the field. This is Sean Ryan for West Virginia to the 17-yard line. Spencer Jones, a linebacker, downfield to make the tackle after a 28-yard throw and catch.
There's a couple of times now where Army has not been able to get pressure. Jarrett Daggy wants it all to the top to Bryce Ford Wheaton, but does a nice job of coming back to his second receiver. He's able to deliver the football, and West Virginia is inside the red zone.
Oh, unbelievable protection up front by this offensive line that Neal Brown's put on the field today. Here is Letty Brown on the play fake again, and the slant is dropped by Bryce Ford Wheaton. Young man from outside of Raleigh, North Carolina at Fuquay Varina, who's a third-generation Mountaineer football player.
We've seen a number of drops from these West Virginia receivers. This one hits him right on the number. Some of those other ones have been outside the frame of the body. But Ford Wheaton not able to bring that one in on what probably would have been a touchdown.
So West Virginia, who is playing Zach Frazier, a freshman at the left guard spot, Brandon Yates, a redshirt freshman at the left tackle spot here. There's Daggy, a sidearm throw. The ball popped out of the hands of Ryan, ruled incomplete, so third and the full 10. Cedric Cunningham to defend it for Army, raked it out of there. And Eric, we've been keeping an eye kind of on this offensive line rotation. Now has Brown and also Bryson Mays playing on the right side around Barrett, the center.
Yeah, this offensive line has a lot of youth to it, and they're excited about the future of this group. They're bringing in Doug Nestor, who's an excellent guard at Virginia Tech this year, and they are excited about what this offensive line will look like moving forward.
Well, here's Daggy on third and the full 10. Shoots it inside, and knocked back is Ryan again. And that was Jones making the hit at the 14-yard line. So after missing earlier from 37, Sumter going to come back out and try again for the Mountaineers.
Once again, this Army offense stands tall in the red zone. They forced the miss earlier. Let's see if they can do it again.
31-yard try. Malashevich will hold. And the kick is good. So the Mountaineers on the board on their third possession, a 31-yard field goal. Gives us our first points of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
147 in the first quarter.
It's another good drive from West Virginia. I thought Jarrett Daggy did a nice job on that one, shaking off the interception, showing a lot of poise in the pocket, delivering some nice passes. Army's going to have to figure out a way on these third downs to get pressure on Daggy, especially when they decide they're going to try and bring it. You got to get home. They've had some success dropping 8 in the third and long situations, but Daggy did a nice job on that one, moving the chains.
Yep. So Army now plays from behind for the first time, and Jeff Munkin's team did that against the Air Force late in the ball game, Roddy, that closed back on December the 19th in a 10-7 win. And now we'll see how this goes for Coach Munkin's Cadets against a West Virginia team that kind of sputtered after a really good start, losing 3 of their last 5, including the one at Iowa State back on December the 5th. They had a schedule, as Coach Brown was telling us the other day, they had a schedule that had games, then no games, looked like you were going to play, then couldn't play. It kind of typifies what we found out to be 2020 with college football.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened to this Army team with their bowl games. Scheduled to play in the Independence Bowl, that was canceled. had to wait for Tennessee to drop out of this one to come and take a spot.
That ball is fielded, and that's A.J. Howard, and he will reach the 25, and that's where Army will start. Don't forget, tomorrow Capital One Bowl Mania rolls on with the Verbo Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Bo Nix and Auburn against Pat Fitzgerald and number 14 Northwestern. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on ABC and on the ESPN app. By the way, congratulations to Pat Fitzgerald, just named the winner of the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year award.
What a job he did there with that team. I mean, that defense was physical. They fly around, good at all three levels. Did an excellent job this season, very deserving.
Third possession for Army starts at its 26. And nothing straight ahead that time for Cade Bernard.
That was the first time we've seen that unbalanced formation from Army. Tyre Tyler's going to want that one back. That's a pull all the way. Midline option, should have pulled it, gone around, gotten downhill. And now we've got a new quarterback. Christian Anderson comes in.
Yep, we expected to see 3. We've now seen Anderson. He's the second. Barnard, by the way, just his second carry in the last 3 ball games. He did not play against Air Force for Coach Munkin's team. Anderson, the junior, now on 2nd and 11. Here's the pitch. And coming to the edge is Brandon Walters. First time we've seen Army go to the perimeter, Roddy, out of the spread option.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen a triple option. West Virginia comes with the blitz on the edge. You pull pitch quickly, get the ball in the perimeter. It was a nice job by the corner as well, turning everything in. As you see the stats on the season for Christian Anderson.
Yep. If you're looking for the passer in the Army quarterback depth, this is the guy.
41 attempts on the air. I'm pretty sure Jared Daigie's had multiple games with that many attempts.
Anderson gonna hang it in the air, and it's caught. What a catch by Caterbone.
The ball was one of those that looked like a punt almost. Watch this. Caterbone actually gets held on the way, but he's got so much room that Anderson just hangs it up. Caterbone's able to come down with it. That's a nice call by Jeff Monken in this Army offense.
13-yard throw ends the first period. Everybody happy wearing a gold helmet.
Day to the College Football Playoff Semifinals, New Year's Day on ESPN.
Oh, what a day it'll be tomorrow. Alabama, Notre Dame get us started 4 Eastern from the Rose Bowl in Arlington, and then Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Clemson and Ohio State. We go to quarter 2 at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, and the Cadets have the football at their 44, trailing 3-0. Anderson, little shovel pitch to the perimeter. And around the edge goes A.J. Howard, and he'll break the midfield line. And we've got a West Virginia player down on the play that will stop action here.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
After a collision over on the in front of the bench area. So we'll get a timeout. Early second period in Memphis. 3-0, the Mountaineers lead. Well, don't forget the bowls don't end on New Year's Day. Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern, number 25 Oregon and number 10 Iowa State out of the Big 12 in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. And then Saturday night, 8 o'clock, number 5 Texas A&M meets number 13 North Carolina in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Both games on ESPN and, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app. The injured Mountaineer was Sean Mahone, who was able to get up after taking a spill. Second down and 4 for Army, and we got early movement, and Darius Stills went into the neutral zone. And that should give Army a first down. And it will at the West Virginia 45.
Offside. Number 56, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Tricky offensive line games again, Eric Wood. Just tricky offensive linemen.
Hey, if they're going to continue to penetrate like they are, you have to use the hard count. That's one of the only ways to defend it, especially when you're going up against a guy as good as Darius Stills.
Barnard is the B-back. And blast through. Samito, by the way, the stop for West Virginia. You talk about Darius Stills now. You're talking about one of the best defensive linemen in the college game this year, Roddy.
You absolutely are. First-team All-American, a guy who's playing with his brother Dante, number 55. His dad was a great Mountaineer, so you could tell it means something to him. We had a great time catching up with him this week.
Yep, sure did. He was fun to visit with, and you admire the respect and loyalty he has for the West Virginia program. Certainly Gary Stills, their dad, an outstanding player. And that time McCoy got stacked right at the line on second down. We talk about Gary Stills now, late 90s, mid-90s if you will. West Virginia had Amos Saraway and Mark Bulger and Joey Porter at wide receiver. But on defense, that was the man.
He absolutely was. And you could tell that Darius Stills had something on his dad when he made first-team All-American, called him up, and he told us that he said, Dad, when I go to West Virginia, I'm going to do something that you never did. First-team All-American, Darius did it. Dad never had a chance.
Here's Anderson coming on the option, got stuck in traffic and got hit by a die who crashed down from the safety box. Nice work here by Alonzo Adai, who said he's coming back to play next fall for West Virginia.
Well, they try and go with the lead option. That play is really made on the edge. It's a really nice job by Vandarius Cowan, setting the edge and allowing Adai to come and make a tackle.
So here's Army again on a fourth down. You see Marshall in motion. He hesitates. Here's the toss, and this will be Marshall around the edge. First down. Oh, one of the plays, Eric Wood, that Roddy Jones used to handle the money on right here.
Can we get a flashback to some of that action of the Roddy Jones toss sweep days? But when you have guys like the Stills brothers inside, you have to get the ball on the edge, and we saw it early. Army was like running into a brick wall trying to go through the middle. They're starting to get the ball on the perimeter, and now they're getting their first drive of the game going. And this is a break for their defense that they desperately needed.
Nobody wants to see those flashbacks, Wes. It was not as good looking as that.
Tyler's come back in at quarterback and straight ahead. Okay, now, Roddy, here's the deal. Somebody will say, well, wait a second. They just got 7-8 yards going to the perimeter. Why not go back to the perimeter again? Why plunge on the dive play?
Because this is who Army is. They are a team that is going to consistently work inside. You see there, though, Darius Stills being able to use the arm over move, get in the backfield and make the tackle. Army sets up everything by going inside with the dive play and with the quarterback run.
10th play of the drive coming up. Here comes Tyler again. He'll keep, and the ball pop loose. Scramble for it at the 26. Let's see what happens at the bottom of the stack, and you see Vandarius Cowan pop up out of the stack, and all of a sudden things kind of got a little sideways there. Now Stuart Mullins, the referee. He'll sort it out. Terry Ramsey, the umpire, also in the middle of that fray. And markers everywhere.
On the field, it's a fumble recovered by the offense after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 8. Half the distance to the goal and an automatic. First down.
So Cowan from Palm Beach Gardens, who transferred to Morgantown from Alabama, missed all last year with a knee injury, ticketed on the penalty.
West Virginia is the second most penalized team in the Big 12 this year. It's something that Neil Brown certainly going to want his team to get together, although he is he disagrees severely with that call. Let's just put it that way. Very upset.
So 1st and 10 at the 13. Cadets have chewed up some clock here too. Here's Tyler, and we get a whistle A shift, perhaps?
The ruling on the previous play of a fumble recovered by the offense is under further review.
Oh. So the previous play by Tyler that featured the Cowan post-scrimmage penalty will now be up for review. 3-0 West Virginia. Break here in the second quarter.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, brought to you by AutoZone, home of the Duralast batteries. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Oh, cavalcade at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 1983, Doug Flutie, the game's MVP. Boston College lost to Notre Dame, though, 1918. And the next year, Bo Jackson won the MVP. Auburn did win the game, too, beat Arkansas 21-15. By the way, both went on to win the Heisman Trophy the next year.
Wow. Could we see the same from somebody on one of these teams?
There you go. Welcome back to Memphis with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, our producers Aaron Owens, our director Adam Bryant, our great ESPN college football crew. Appreciate all the good work these folks have done here in Memphis for the 62nd AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 3-0 West Virginia, but Army, Roddy, with their best threat of the afternoon so far, and they're eating up clock here.
Yeah, 10 plays during this drive. It's been a really nice mix that Army has gone inside, they've gone outside, they've mixed in some option, really found some success getting away from the Stills brothers in the middle.
Here's Tyler on the toss. Howard again finds some action down inside the 10 to around the 7-yard line. Nick Troy Fortune, who had 14 tackles in the last 3 ball games for West Virginia to close the regular season, comes up with a stop there.
And West Virginia is going back and forth between an even front and an odd front, a 3-4 look, if you will, and a 4-3 look. And when those two Stills brothers are in that 4-3 look, it makes it really tough to run up the middle. That's where Army's had the success going to the perimeter.
Anthony Atkins has come in. He's the B-back and gets the carry off the left side and drives to the 2 before Scotty Young makes the stop. Now this could very well be first and goal.
This time they just go with the belly look off tackle. It's a really nice job by the left guard, Mike Johnson. They like to pull him, incredibly athletic. He's a senior that just found out he's going to the infantry division, Wes, when he gets done. That's a guy that I want on the front lines. A nice job at the block on the edge.
All right, Sandon McCoy's come in. First and goal for Army. And McCoy got knocked back at the 1. Jared Bartlett, another one of these young Mountaineers that Neil Brown's excited about, a redshirt freshman from Miami, with the first hit.
Surge from that West Virginia defense. This is no doubt 4-down territory. We could see 4 of those, 4 quarterback dives, knowing this Army offense.
Tyler will keep and score. Tyler into the end zone, 3rd rushing score of the year, puts the Cadets in front.
Well, how about that response drive by Army? They had been held a lot during this game. You see Tyler, how low he is underneath the center. He's just the power in the end zone, right behind the lead blocker. Really nice job by this Army offense of getting into the end zone and taking the lead.
Moretsky to try for the point here. And now it is a 7-3 lead for Army. Roddy, here's the thing. 14 plays, 74 yards, 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
That's where this Army offense wants to be. You have to give credit to the Army defense. Standing up just outside of the red zone once and then in the red zone another time, creating a turnover, letting Army's offense figure it out a little bit, feel out the first couple of drives with this West Virginia defense so they could really get a game plan going. And you saw there, had success on the inside to the outside. We saw some triple option, we saw some toss, and then the off tackle stuff to get him in the end zone.
Well, and here's the other thing too, Roddy and Eric. West Virginia needs to kind of polish up some of the details when they get the ball back, because if one thing the Mountaineers haven't been able to do, look, Letty Brown's been fine, but Roddy, they haven't been able to hold on to the football in the throw game.
Yeah, there's been a ton of drops. It's one of those cold, wet days that receivers don't love. But Jared Dagey's had some opportunities that have just literally been dropped by the receivers. We'll see how they clean that up. This is the type of thing that can throw an offense off, though. It's a cold day. You were just on the sideline for 7 minutes of game time, more than that of real time. How do they respond?
So here is Salyers to kick it away. Wright and Sinkfield deep for West Virginia. And this will be Wright at the 2. Around the edge and out of bounds near the 23-yard line. Well, we told you Letty Brown's been fine, guys, but here are the details. Not very clean.
Well, that pass a little off. That pass a little was contacted, but some of these drops have just been lack of concentration. That one right there, you had one downfield to Bryce Ford Wheaton in one that could have been a touchdown. And then another one. Jarrett Dagey's going to need a little bit of help from these receivers. I know it's cold. I know it's wet. That ball's hard and it's slick. But this West Virginia offense, now that Army's got it going, has to be efficient going forward.
There you see 5 drops, 7 catches. And here is Letty Brown. Army just chewed up a bunch of clock, Eric. Now all of a sudden you feel like the Mountaineers, who have, been pretty good offensively, stingy on defense, they got to find a way to get their rhythm, don't they?
They do, and conditioning is an issue for both these teams, and it was a concern heading into this game. Both these teams allowed their student athletes to go home for Christmas, so only a few days to prepare for the game. So conditioning is an issue, especially after a long drive.
The throw to the tight end, O'Loughlin, and Cedric Cunningham, another tackle. We've called Cunningham's name already a lot out of the Army secondary. So here is 3rd down for West Virginia.
This is one of those 3rd and manageables that have given Army trouble. When they sent pressure, they haven't been able to get to Jarrett Dagey. When they're too close to the 1st down marker to just drop 8. We've got 6 guys hanging around on the line of scrimmage. See what West Virginia goes with.
2 of 5 on 3rd down. Quick throw, inside route, and the catch, and that's Sam Brown. The young freshman from Savannah, Georgia, played for Kyle Hockman at New Hampstead. And Roddy, here's a guy that Neil Brown said, look, this guy's going to get the ball in the ball game. He's really developed in the last month for him.
They pointed Sam Brown out as a guy that has made plays in their opportunities they've given the young guys to place, learned how to practice, and coming up with a big catch despite the elements.
6th catch of the year for Brown. Dagey from the pocket, being flushed, now in trouble, got to get rid of it, and threw it over the head of Winston Wright. Ryan Duran, who's blocked 3 kicks this year,
There is no foul for intentional grounding.
was in there charging Jarrett Dagey.
It's the first time they've really gotten pressure on Jarrett Dagey. Not able to bring him down, but Dagey wisely throws it in the general vicinity of a receiver. It definitely counts as in the area. I don't know if Jeff Monken completely agrees. He was asking the referees if 20 yards out of bounds is in the area of the throw, but nonetheless, Jarrett Dagey gets away with it.
Ryan Duran getting a lot more reps here today for Army. Dagey a throw, little high, deflected, and Brown the catch. How about that? It goes Dagey to Wright to Brown for the completion.
You're scoring that on your scorecard. That's a 6-4-3 right there. Wouldn't have been the double play. It would have been the type that ricochets off the second baseman. Talk about the drops. This one, it counts as a drop and a catch on one play.
So 1st and 10, Army's 43. Letty Brown bangs away to about the 38-yard line. So a gain of 5 on 1st down. Cunningham again the stop. So we'll see what, as we work towards 7 minutes to play, you almost feel like you got to answer back if you're West Virginia here with something, don't you?
You at least had to possess the football. I mean, obviously they want to get points, but had they gone 3 and out, given Army the ball back, Army could have driven out basically the rest of the clock if they had another drive like their last one.
Boy, Brown, only a yard or so to the 37, gets us to 3rd down. You look at Letty Brown, easily one of the most improved offensive players in the Big 12. certainly the most improved on offense from a year ago for West Virginia.
Well, if you look at who we were talking about coming into the season in terms of running backs in the Big 12, it was really Chuba Hubbard and nobody else. But coming out of it, it's Breece Hall and Letty Brown.
Yeah.
Both of these guys will be back next year.
Daggy, quick throw, inside and the catch, Brown again. Well, Sam Brown here in quarter two's made 2 big catches and caught another one off a deflection.
No kidding. I mean, the ball's a magnet to Sam Brown. None of the other receivers, or all the other receivers, have had trouble with drops. He can't get away from the football. Jared Daggy has seemed to find a little bit of rhythm, and even when it hasn't gone to him, it's found his way into his hands.
11 of 19 for 129 for Daggy.
You guys mentioned those Mountaineer workouts with the young guys. They call that Monday Night Football, and everything matters in the program for Neil Brown, and you see it when a guy like Sam Brown can prove himself in those drills and then show up like this in the bowl game.
Daggy to his right, going to make the long throw, and the catch by Wright inside the 5. Knocked out by Broughton, but Winston Wright, a nice catch running away from Jared Daggy.
It's a great decision by Jared Daggy, but watch the route by Wright. The patience, able to set up the defender and get down the field. How about the throw right on the sideline? You talked about a response drive. Now West Virginia's got to put the ball in the end zone now that you're inside the 10.
Yep. Working toward 5 minutes to play first half. Letty Brown right into the middle, and the first guy there was Eric Smith, the junior from Bowie, Maryland. And without Radigan in the lineup today for Army, their leading tackler, this is the boss. 71 tackles, leads them in sacks and tackles for loss during the year. And he met Letty Brown head on there.
You know, when you're at a place like Army, the coaches talk about the leadership and just the overall presence of a lot of these guys. Jeff Monken could not talk highly enough about Eric Smith, said he's one of the best linebackers he's ever been around, regardless of level.
Daggy throwing for the end zone, and O'Loughlin, the target incomplete. Broughton was there in coverage for Army. And the Cadets handled the fake here on the sweep pretty well, Rowdy, I thought.
Watch 20 to the right of your screen. Marquell Broughton gets away with a little bit of a veteran move. Just the nudge on the hip. That's one of those ninja moves that Eric Wood talks about the offensive linemen doing from time to time.
Gotta love the ninja moves. That's a sign of a veteran play.
For a redshirt sophomore, ultra veteran type.
Absolutely.
So here's 3rd and goal at the 5. Daggy hit as he throws. Touchdown, West Virginia. T.J. Simmons puts the Mountaineers ahead.
This play is really made by the threat of Letty Brown. The fact that Army went to go one-on-one on the outside because they wanted to take away the they wanted to take away the run. And T.J. Simmons able to make the play. Daggy steering pressure down the face, down the barrel of pressure. He's able to complete the pass and respond for this West Virginia offense.
Well, 5 minutes and 10 seconds is what it takes West Virginia. 12 plays and 77 yards. And Sumter to try and make it a 3-point game.
The extra point attempt by Sumter.
And he does. Simmons the score. The Mountaineers go back in front at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
Welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It's powered of Capital One Bowl Mania. West Virginia with the touchdown to respond to the great drive by Army. Take the lead 10-7 in this one. It was an important drive for West Virginia. Army coming off a long drive, took almost 7 minutes off the clock. West Virginia responded with a long one of their own. Now Army's going to work with 4:21 left on the clock. Jeff Monken and his squad looking to get back on.
4:21 left on the clock for Army with their rushing attack. It's almost like a 2-minute offense, Roddy. They can't work at their normal tempo that they like to bleed the clock.
Yeah, they're going to need some big plays. They started to find something on that last drive. We'll see if it continues. So West Virginia is going to kick.
Casey Legg will kick it away. And this is A.J. Howard for Army. And Howard almost to the 35-yard line. 4:15 to go. Let's check with the studio. Kevin Connors and Trevor Maddich.
Tackle by number 10, Dylan Tonkery. First down, 10 yards to go for Army from the 34-yard line.
Kevin, thanks. Kevin, thanks very much. Look forward to that. Let's see what Jeff Monken's team has here off the 34. And a toss to the perimeter gets the drive underway.
On the carry, number 15, Murphy.
Eric mentioned the fact that Army's going to have to go a little faster than they typically do, but most important thing is to get that first down. The ability to do that, you don't want West Virginia to have the ball back with a ton of time on the clock. So I would anticipate them speed up just a little bit if they're able to get that first down.
Tyler and Sandon McCoy on the dive play. Got hit on the numbers by Dylan Tonkery. Now he's filling that spot we talked about, Roddy, of Tony Fields, who was the Big 12 Defensive Newcomer of the Year who opted out after the regular season.
They said this is Dylan Tonkery's kind of game. He's great at reading his keys, is going to be in the right position, has played a lot of linebacker, played a ton of Mike linebacker a year ago.
Right.
Made a nice tackle on that one, setting up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is his 14th start of his West Virginia career at middle linebacker. Now Tyler trying to get around the edge, and he'll be edged out into the West Virginia bench near the 44, close to a first down, and about 3:04 to go.
We'll see if they got it.
And they did. Stuart Mullins awards the first down.
That would have been a really interesting decision. That was a long distance declaration from one sideline to the other. Stuart Mullins able to make the determination. Would have been an interesting decision if it was 4th and short, but Army able to get that first down. We'll see if they start to pick up the tempo at all.
Again, a tight formation, and they'll toss here and coming to the near side. That's well played. And Marshall got taken down by Dante Stills.
Coming into this, we talked to him. It looks like Dante Stills was on a called slant to that side. He was able to defeat the block, the line of scrimmage, and get out to the perimeter. How about the big fella? That's 280 pounds tracking down a running back to the sideline.
We get a timeout. 2.5 to go. 10-7 West Virginia.
Their first of the half. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 50 seconds.
Well, we've got the Progressive Bowl Challenge Cup here on site at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. The trophy will be awarded to the conference that has the highest winning percentage in the postseason. As you see, Tyler around the corner. Samito the stop. Roddy, here's a look at the updated standings, including Mississippi State's win over Tulsa earlier today.
Second of the half.
And the Big 12 probably needs West Virginia to get them to 4-0 here. And then you'd like their chances.
Yeah, Iowa State's squaring off against Oregon. So the Big 12 with an opportunity to go 5-0 in bowl games.
Yep. And coming off the field, West Virginia, Samito shaking up on the play as you see him get to the bench area.
Neil Brown opting to take his timeouts after the 1st and 2nd down stops of Army. Pretty wise on his part, giving his offense as much time as possible. Army likely going to run the ball again here.
Right.
Wonder if they'll take that 3rd timeout if they're able to get a stop. The first thing is stopping this offense.
Tyler again, and that time got handled by Cowan. Another timeout.
Timeout, West Virginia. Their 3rd and final of the half. 30-second timeout.
Vandarius Cowan, the stop of Tyler. So now this is 4th and 8, Roddy.
Yeah.
This is a punt.
This is a punt.
Yeah.
And West Virginia, Neil Brown, well aware of the fact that Army gets the ball first in the second half, giving his offense as much time as possible to go down and get another score, try and get some distance between you and the Black Knights. It's a nice stop by this defense. Now it's going to be up to the special teams to pin them back deep.
It's funny how you talked about early the chess match.
Yep.
Well, it continues here.
Oh, absolutely. You are basically counting possessions when you have when you're up against an Army offense, because you never know when they're going to go on one of those drives to bleed the clock. You know, Army, had you allowed the time to dwindle and you're not able to get down and score, Army could have had a great job the first one out of the second half.
Zach Harding's had a 57-yard punt in this first half. Sinkfield's going to signal for and make the fair catch around the 13-yard line, and that's where the Mountaineers will start. So if you're kind of looking ahead here, that's 9 total possessions. This will be the 9th between the two teams here in the first half. Don't forget, tomorrow on ESPN, the College Football Playoff semifinals are finally here. 4 o'clock Eastern, the Rose Bowl presented by Capital One. Played in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. Number 1 Alabama, number 4 Notre Dame, and then at 8, the All-State Sugar Bowl, number 2 Clemson, and number 3 Ohio State. Early thoughts?
I am excited about the rivalry that's developed between Ohio State and Clemson this week. The war of words. I think, in my opinion, it's almost a foregone conclusion that we're going to get Alabama-Clemson rematch.
Wow. Around the edge, right. And he'll stretch toward the 19. West Virginia has no timeouts remaining in a moving clock here with 2:18 to go. Daggy gets him lined up, a quick throw to the perimeter, and this is Ryan, and he'll get the first down. That'll stop the clock to the 29-yard line. Eric Smith the stop, 9-yard gain for West Virginia.
All right, you've gotten that first down. Now it's going to be up to Jarrett Daggy and these receivers to manage the clock. You got to get out of bounds, hurry to the line of scrimmage.
Daggy with time. In trouble, took the sack, ball loose. Duran the recovery for Army. Daggy was trying to pull the trigger. Eventually Morrison got to him, banged it loose. And now Army is in business with 1:52 to go before the half on the Mountaineers' second turnover.
This one's completely on Jarrett Daggy. He's got plenty of time. At some point, you just have to decide, I'm throwing the football away. He sees the defender coming. It's coming from the play side. He's looking at Morrison come right at him. You got to protect the football, bring it in, especially in this situation where you're down close. Watch him. He's got his eyes on Morrison. Ball's loose. It's on the ground. He's lucky Army didn't scoop and score there, but now the Black Knights are in business.
Ryan Duran, who blocked 3 kicks, makes a critical recovery of a Daggy fumble. Army's got all 3 timeouts. And a 2-yard move for Anthony Adkins, the 255-pound sophomore from Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Guys, this is a West Virginia offense that only had 9 turnovers on the entire season coming to this. That was number 1 in the Big 12, already with 2 on the game today. So uncharacteristic of Daggy to have those turnovers.
You're right about that, Ewood. Tyler, option to the edge. Army in front. Second rushing score for Tyler Tyler.
This is part of that. Looks like a double option. It's part of this extensive quarterback run game that Army has. They go off tackle, are able to get in the end zone in the quick change scenario. Take advantage of the Daggy fumble. It's just an unexcusable mistake on the West Virginia quarterback's part, and Army takes advantage of it.
Boy, do they ever. And now a 4-point lead for the Cadets with 74 seconds to play first half.
And let's not forget, Army gets the ball first in the second half. West Virginia, knowing that, took those timeouts. So again, no timeouts, 1:14 now. I wonder, the question is going to be, how aggressive is Neil Brown going to be? Does he try and go down, have that same mentality to get in the end zone and get points before halftime? I would imagine you would. You have to take really good care of and maximize every possession that you get.
Roddy, you talked earlier about Army dropping 8. Well, you know good and well that's what they'll do here.
Absolutely. You're trying to keep everything in front and inside, keep West Virginia away from the sidelines, and make them operate as if they have no timeouts in that hurry-up.
And let's be honest, the most impactful receiver that West Virginia's had in this first half has been Sam Brown off the bench.
Yeah, it absolutely has been. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if you're Neil Brown, the downside of being aggressive is you have the potential for a turnover, which you've had a couple of times in this first half. You're not really scared of the Army offense getting the ball back and going down and scoring quickly. So I would expect Neil Brown to be very aggressive here.
Well, 40-year-old Neil Brown trying to build something in Morgantown. He's undefeated in bowls. This is his first trip in a bowl with West Virginia after 3 wins as the head coach at Troy in the Sun Belt. Here's the return by Sinkfield, and he'll get out toward the 35-yard line.
Right, all the way out to the 35-yard line.
Don't forget that for every extra point and field goal scored this year, Allstate makes a contribution to the participating university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. First down and 10 now, 1:09 to go. The ball at the Mountaineer 35-yard line. Daggy to the backside and off the hands of Sean Ryan. Playing with fire here, Roddy.
Yeah, I think this one's just a pass that's a little off the mark. Yeah, up the field for Sean Ryan. Incomplete pass. And those are the dangerous ones. If you'd have had that outside corner breaking, you're worried about it being picked.
Right.
Luckily, West Virginia gets away with it.
Daggy from the pocket. And will be sacked. Duran again.
And that sack essentially kills any hope that you had of driving down the field. Jarrett Daggy, once again, you're holding it, that's fine. Throw the ball away. Get the ball out of bounds. Allow your offense to try and convert a 3rd and long. And if you get it, you still have got a shot to go down the field. The sack essentially kills all hopes of getting anything before halftime. It's going to be one of the coaching points of Jarrett Daggy at halftime. Get rid of the football. It's fine to hold it, but once somebody gets close, get it away.
Eric comes back to a point that we talked about during the week. Daggy, if he has a weakness, it's extending plays sometimes, right?
Yeah, his lack of athleticism, it doesn't allow him to avoid some of those rushers. We saw him scramble once in the first half, but he's not as fleet-footed as a lot of the quarterbacks you see in the college game.
Letty Brown brought down at the 35, so 4th down coming up, but we got a flag on the play.
Holding, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Neil Brown at halftime just has to calm his offense down a little bit. I mean, Jarrett Daggy in particular, but this offense has moved the ball. You missed a field goal, had to settle for a field goal in the red zone, threw an interception. So it's been a lot of just not taking advantage of those opportunities.
Their first and a half.
Well, see, here's the other part with 11 seconds left, and you think, well, okay, West Virginia's just going to run a play, and then we'll get to the end of the half. Army's got 2 more timeouts.
Army's going to make you kick it. This is one of the best special teams in the country. They are excellent at blocking kicks. They are going to make West Virginia try and get this 3rd down, or at least run a play on 3rd down, and they're going to call a timeout and make them kick it on 4th.
Army now, by the way, has outscored opponents 100-24 in the second quarter this year. And there's some scary notes now when you get to halftime if you're Neil Brown. He's 37-2 as a head coach, Roddy, when leading at the half, 4-24 as a head coach when trailing.
And they're trying to decide whether it was 3rd. If it was announced as 3rd down, looks like it's actually 4th down. So West Virginia sending out the punt unit here.
You see that the cadets, and what do we have now? Procedure on West Virginia. False start.
Number 1, offense.
Well, you can tell
5-yard penalty.
Neil Brown is none too happy with the way this first half's going to come to a close.
Well, that actually might be good for West Virginia to have that penalty. You certainly don't want to give up the yardage, but you get a look at the block that Army had on. So maybe you switch up your protection, try and prevent what just happened, a run through a guy unblocked.
7 blocks on the year for Army. Kick is away from Sumter. And they're going to let the first half clock roll out. And that's what will happen. But there is a flag down. So hold tight here.
That's the end of the first half here at Memorial Stadium. There is a flag on the play.
So Stuart Mullins hits the whistle to keep Army from going to the locker room.
During the kick, holding, number 18 receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. The half is not over. The quarter will be extended for 1 untimed down.
So there you go. The minute he pointed toward Army, you knew that we'd have to have the untimed down. So we'll hold you for one moment before we send you to Kevin Connors and Trevor Maddich with the Capital One halftime report. So sit tight, fellas.
It's been a weird first half.
Yes, it has.
Army's really only had the one long drive. They were able to get in the end zone. It's really been West Virginia that's had the offensive success consistently. So the question is going to be adjustments-wise, what does West Virginia go to offensively? It seems like they've been.
Declined. It's halftime.
So there you go. Penalty declined. Halftime it is. So see, we weren't going to steer Kevin and Trevor wrong at the end anyway. Well, a couple of second quarter scores, Roddy, for Tyler. Difference in the ball game. West Virginia and Army. 62nd AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Cadets with the lead at the break. Capital One halftime report is next. Here's Kevin and Trevor.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
And New Year's Eve night in Memphis. West Virginia and Army in the 62nd annual AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We get ready to go to the second half. Mountaineers kick it to the Cadets. Army with a 4-point lead. And fair caught, so that means they'll play from the 25. Here's Eric Wood.
I was able to catch up with both head coaches at halftime. When I talked to Jeff Monken, he said they just got to continue to find ways to block the Stills brothers inside, and he said the hard counts did help. When I caught up with Neil Brown, he just said it was so uncharacteristic, those turnovers by Deggy, and he's sure that he'll eliminate those in the second half, and they just got to continue to sustain drives.
All right. West Virginia outscoring opponents 57-34 in the third quarter. Army's outscoring opponents 91-37 in the third quarter, Roddy. And here is Tyler on first down, getting 7, maybe 8, and a quick check of the stats. Yes, 83 yards for the Army.
Well, you can see West Virginia on offense has been able to move the football. They had a missed field goal, they had an interception, had to settle for a field goal in that first half, and Army's really taking advantage of this, the 2 turnovers. That's been the big thing. Army obviously scored a touchdown after one of them, but really the long drive by Army is the only real sustained drive that they've been able to have.
Anthony Adkins is the B-back behind Tyler, and it's Adkins on the carry, and he'll push it for a first down toward the 38-yard line. All right, you played in this offense at Georgia Tech. You understand the nuances of it. We saw dive play. Once they started going to the perimeters when Army started having success, Roddy.
Well, you've got to force West Virginia to make adjustments. Army wants to live between the tackles. That's where they've made done most of their damage this year. So tossing it out to the perimeter has made West Virginia adjust a little bit, and also stuff like that. These hard counts have allowed Army to slow down the Stills brothers up the middle.
Here's Tyler, and this is the pitch. and Howard around the edge. First down for Army. They reach the 46-yard line. Shoe top tackled by Dylan Tonkery.
You see Army with the ability to get out to the edge. All you need is a little crease. Dylan Tonkery does a good job of fighting out there, but not before Army's able to get about 8 yards on the first carry. So when West Virginia's gone with this 4-down look, with the two Stills brothers lined up on the guards, it's been really tough for them to go up the middle, so they've gone more to the perimeter.
Second down and short. And a little follow play. Tyler gets the first down. Tyler to the 46 before Jeffrey Pooler makes the tackle. So Jeff Monken's kind of got what he wants right here early in the second half. Ground exchange with his quarterback. They put it in the hands of the A-back, if you will, the wings in this spread option offense, and you've also seen the B-back rack up a couple of yards. And that's the guy that's right behind the quarterback, Tyler, here.
Seeing more check with me's on this first drive, too, to make sure they get the right play to the look that West Virginia's giving.
Here's Tyler, boundary side on the carry. And tried to step through one and got corralled by Samito, the linebacker, and then the whistles blow on the Tyler run to the West Virginia 40-yard line.
And Wes, you mentioned me having played in this offense at Georgia Tech. Jeff Monken was the A-back coach during a lot of that. Let's take a look at this. Did his knee touch there? Yeah, it goes down right there. This play is going to be reviewed, and it's going to come back.
So here is the second down play coming up for Tyler and the Army. And Barnard bouncing and a flag thrown on the play. As you see Kay Barnard.
It's pretty strange that the replay booth didn't pick that one up.
Number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Mesidor offside.
Now this offsides penalty is going to give Army a first down. Army doesn't need any help on these drives. And that should have been 2nd and 11 instead of 2nd and 5. So even if you have that offsides penalty, it's still second down. Now Army's just going to continue running the clock.
Barnard the B-back. Tyler again going to go boundary side, and he'll crack the 30 toward the 29. It'll be a gain of 6 on first down.
So Wes, I mentioned the fact that Jeff Monken was one of the position coaches at Georgia Tech during the first couple of years of Paul Johnson's tenure at Georgia Tech. So I've been in those locker rooms where the adjustments are made, and it's not massive adjustments. It's not installing new plays. As you see Tyler's numbers, it's little things.
44, defense lined up in the neutral zone to snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's little things with the blocking schemes, little things that are tough to pick up, whether it's slipping a block and getting to the next level because a guy's taking himself out of the play, whether it's a step to influence a player different ways. Those are the things that make this offense so tough, because just changing up one block, one angle can open up some of the holes that we've seen today.
Now they'll chase Barnard back up the middle again. It's a 1st and 5. Samito the tackle. And all of a sudden,
First down, Army.
they are grinding the football here, and we're inside the 5th minute of the first quarter, or the third quarter.
This is what we talked about at the end of the first half. This is why Neil Brown was aggressive in calling timeouts to try and go down and score before halftime.
Here's a toss play, and that will be Marshall again, who had a big run in the first half to set up a score, and a die came down from the secondary to make the stop, number 4 there for the Mountaineers.
It's a pretty nice play by Alonzo Adai, getting off a block to make that. There was a lot of room behind him. Yeah, it's 2nd and long, but Neil Brown told us, look, 2.5 yards is a successful play for Army. It keeps them on schedule.
Yep. Anthony Adkins has come back in as the B-back here.
Everybody for West Virginia is within the frame of this shot.
Here's the toss, and around the edge goes Howard. So here comes 3rd and about 4 and change, Roddy. And so far the Mountaineers they've calmed it down a little bit from the first 5 snaps of the third quarter here. But
that's the big but. You're in 3rd and 5, and if Army gets 3 yards here, they're going for it on 4th down. That's how aggressive Jeff Monken has been. And West Virginia is committing all kinds of numbers. You see the depth right here. Everybody within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Here's Tyler on the keeper, and he will get to the 15, and that'll be enough for the first down.
To the 15-yard line.
Just a little quarterback G play. You get the guard pulling around. Once again, it's Mike Johnson, the fullback leading up, the quarterback right behind it. This is the varied nature of this offense. Yes, we've seen some option. Haven't seen any in the second half, but we've seen some triple option. You're going to get the toss, though. You're going to get the belly play. You're going to get the traps. You're going to get that quarterback off tackle play. And you've got to be ready to defend it all.
This is their 5th first down of this drive. And banging away McCoy. Took the Mountaineers Tonkery on head on. And then Vandarius Cowan also helped out Dylan Tonkery. I bring up the 5 first downs, Roddy. They only had 6 in the first half.
Ooh. That was the 10th play of the drive. You're 10 plays into the drive. You're Dylan Tonkery as a middle linebacker. You finally get a dive play. Easily diagnosable. There's nobody to block you, and you get 230 pounds coming right at you from Sandon McCoy.
All right, 2nd down here for Army. Already leading 4. Tyler trying to follow the block around the edge. And he's brought down at the 5. It'll be 1st and goal. Messidor. Can't say enough about what Chris Cameron did on the perimeter blocking, Roddy.
Well, this is the challenge. Again, you have to stay disciplined. You've gotten belly play, belly play, belly play. Now the action in the backfield looks like it, but it's quarterback counter with the tight end out front. Chris Cameron fighting. Tyler's able to get it inside the 5.
All right, so 1st and goal at the 4. Army trying to cash in on the opening drive of half 2. And just banging away inside McCoy. Or no, Atkins, 23, not 3, Sandon McCoy.
Roddy, you talked about subtle differences in the blocking. To start this game, I didn't see Army using nearly the amount of cut blocks that I saw on tape watching them prepping for this game. Now, almost every single play, someone is going at the legs of those interior defenders for West Virginia. When you talk about a potential top pick in the draft like Dante Stills, or Darius Stills, he's got to make some business decisions here, Roddy.
Here's Tyler around the edge and into the end zone. 3rd rushing score of the game for Tyler. Flags now after Tyler got into the end zone, and I think we got some post-scrimmage pushing and shoving between the 2 teams.
We'll get the call from our referee.
How about Mike Johnson, the left guard, the captain of this team, getting his guys back? We'll see who this flag's on.
Well, the other thing is it took 8 minutes of clock off that 3rd quarter. And Neil Brown not happy at all.
Looked like the signal was that it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on West Virginia. Jeff Monken.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 9, defense, his first of the game. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Number 29, Quinn Moretzky.
Stuart Mullins went over there to make sure that Jeff Monken wanted that assessed on the kickoff. Neil Brown obviously unhappy, but this is what we talked about at the end of the first half. Army always has one of these 13-play, 8-minute drives in them if they really get it going, and they did to start the second half.
So Moretzky to try and make it an 11-point lead for Army. And the kick is good. Well, Tyler's got 4 touchdown runs. And now all of a sudden, the Cadets have eaten 8 minutes of clock in the 3rd to lead 11. Army leads 21-10, and we welcome you back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, West Durham, our great crew for ESPN. And when we watch Tyler and the cadets of Army eat up 8 minutes.
How important does this next drive for West Virginia become? I mean, Army has found something. 13 plays, 8 minutes off the clock. This offense has been sitting on the sideline for the entirety of the second half. They're going to have to come up with something, an extensive drive to give that defense a rest.
The kick from midfield will be ripped along the ground, sink field. And he will get back toward the 20-yard line before the tackle is made. So the Mountaineers will have the ball, trailing 11 when we continue from Memphis on New Year's Eve.
The ball at the 20-yard line, first down, 10.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, brought to you by Pennzoil. Pennzoil synthetic motor oils are made from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil.
Back here in Memphis, West Virginia, the ball at the 20. Austin Kendall has come in at quarterback for the Mountaineers, the transfer from Oklahoma who started 9 ball games a year ago. So we get our first look at Kendall, fifth-year senior from Waxhaw, North Carolina, and a 5-yard run on first down for Letty Brown, Roddy.
Austin Kendall's only thrown 6 passes. You see Jarrett Dagey on the sideline. Kendall only 6 passes on the season.
Yep.
It's been all Dagey this year. Interesting decision by Neil Brown.
Kendall, quick throw and broken up. Broughton got a hand in to knock it away. Marquell Broughton playing well.
This is an important drive, so you wonder if there's something going on with Jarrett Dagey, something that he's nursing, an injury possibly. I mean, you never know what the circumstances that are going on behind the scenes, but curious decision to bring in the backup here.
Yep.
And a big third down.
Austin Kendall, and 3rd and halfway. Trying to make the quick throw and complete. Bryce Ford Wheaton to midfield and into Army territory before Broughton made the tackle on a 28-yard throw.
Well, it's just a couple of crossers. You get a nice natural pick in the middle, and nobody takes Ford Wheaton as he comes across the field. It's an easy pitch and catch for Austin Kendall. A nice job finding the open receiver. Bryce Ford Wheaton doing some work after the catch.
So first down and 10 now for West Virginia. Brown trying to get to the second level off the left side. And we'll run into a stack of gold helmets. Eric Smith headlining for Army, first guy there. And there's a look at Jarrett Dagey.
The 15-25 and the interception. The big thing, the fumble's not in there as well. Just held on the ball too long a lot in that first half. Again, we don't know if there's an injury situation or something going on behind the scenes, but Austin Kendall converting that third down has given this offense a little bit of a spark.
By the way, Letty Brown's just crossed the 1,000-yard mark and tries to add to it here on a second down carry. Jones and Carter combine on the stop for the Cadets.
I'd imagine that this is 4-down territory for West Virginia. Maybe 2 Letty Brown appearances coming here.
5 minutes to go in the third. That 8-minute drive kind of looming, not only the deficit, but also the clock. Kendall trying to make the throw. What a catch! TJ Simmons falling down at the 11. Big time grab. Austin Kendall just kind of dropped it right in the bucket for Simmons, 31 yards.
He absolutely did. You have Army with all of these guys around the line of scrimmage, so West Virginia knows it's going to get man-to-man on the outside. You get a blitz off the edge. It's a slot fade by TJ Simmons, and a really nice job of dropping it in the bucket over Marquell Broughton by Austin Kendall.
So Kendall's maybe sparked him a little bit in the throw game here.
Absolutely, and it's quite honestly maybe made Army a little more predictable on defense.
Here's the throw to the end zone and behind TJ Simmons, incomplete. Remember, he caught the touchdown pass, the 5-yarder from Dagey in the second period for West Virginia's only touchdown of the ball game.
And with Kendall in the game, it's one of those chess match things. Army's thinking, all right, they're going to go to Letty Brown here on third down. They're going to go to Letty Brown down close towards the end zone. So it gives you man-to-man coverage. And if you can beat one defender, then Austin Kendall's got a good throw as they've gone empty here.
Yep, Letty Brown 4 of them to the right side, only a single guy here to the left. That was Ford Wheaton. Threw it slightly behind him. Incomplete. And now 3rd down coming up. Jabari Moore was defending for Army.
And here's the scenario that gave Jared Dagey some issues in the first half. 3rd and long, Army opted to drop 8 a lot in this situation. What do they go with the backup quarterback? Do you try and blitz him and make him get the ball out quick, or do you drop 8 and make him make the right decision? The dropping 8 worked a lot for them in the first half.
Looks like the wind's whipping around on the floor of the Liberty Bowl as Kendall goes to work here. That's Brown in motion to the perimeter. Kendall shoots it inside, catch is made. Sean Ryan held on but got taken down before he could reach the first down mark by Eric Smith.
Well, look at what Army does. They basically build a line right at the first down marker. When you get the motion going out, it clears up some room for that slant underneath, but Army does exactly what it wants to do. Keeps the ball in front, is able to tackle West Virginia short, and West Virginia's going to go for it.
Neil Brown going to burn one here. Play clock at 10.
Yeah, I think you have to at this point.
Now the timeout. Looks like they're going to call the timeout. Nope, they do not. Kendall wide open. Touchdown for Michael Laughlin in West Virginia.
Well, Neil Brown was walking down the sideline to try and decide if he was going to call the timeout. Does not do it. Is leaving the offense on the field, down 5. They're going to go for it, go for the 2-point conversion. Watch the motion. You're going to get the motion across. Nobody follows, and you get the tight end sneaking out. O'Laughlin into the front of the end zone to be able to convert.
And West Virginia going to go for 2 here to see if they can make it a 3-point deficit. They snap it to Kendall, quick throw, and dropped. TJ Simmons couldn't hang on to it. It's a 5-point game. Wow, what a third quarter. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. First touchdown catch of the year for Michael Laughlin. West Virginia back to within 5 at 21-16. Don't forget Saturday, there's more Capital One Bowl Mania at noon on ESPN. Number 23, North Carolina State faces Kentucky. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Anish Shroff, Tom Lugabill, Larisha Harris will be there for you. At 12:30 over on ABC, the Outback Bowl. Ole Miss and number 11, Indiana. That's our boys Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kublik.
It's 2 strong lineups right there.
Both games available also on the ESPN app.
2 really good games, too.
Oh, yeah. Tom Allen in Indiana, great story this year, Rodney.
How about Dave Dorn at NC State? Great story.
Absolutely.
3 wins there for the Wolfpack. They're losing their starting quarterback.
Yep.
2 guys that were certainly in the running for Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Tom Allen and Dave Dorn.
You betcha. So let's see what West Virginia has defensively now. For Army, a little onside kick. Ball got busted around, and the Mountaineers say they have it. West Virginia says they have it, and they do. Casey Legg, the redshirt sophomore from Charleston.
Neil Brown told us he was going to be aggressive and try and steal a possession at some point. It's a really nice job by this West Virginia team getting downfield.
First down.
And Adai comes up with it.
Yep, Alonzo Adai.
And we've got an injured cadet on the field, Donaldson. But the Mountaineers have recovered the onside kick, trailing 5 with 3:21 to go. And Roddy, stolen the possession.
This is with the success that the Army offense had on the first possession of this second half. An 8-minute possession. You've got to find a way to steal a possession, as you said. Without giving them the ball back, how do you create an opportunity for you to take the lead? It's an excellent call by Neil Brown. Perfect timing as you get a look at Alonzo Adai, the 5th-year senior that's decided to come back, stretching him out there on the sideline.
Well, and that's because Alonzo Adai has today's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. I mean, come on now, Roddy.
Gotta be it.
Here's the throw, and that's O'Laughlin for the touchdown. And that's another clutch delivery.
How about the catch? I mean, we talked about the fact that he was open. It wasn't a great throw. The catch by O'Loughlin was fantastic from the tight end.
And that was on a fourth and
it sure was. Fourth and short down near the goal line.
That's it.
Austin Kendall's given this offense a spark. He's able to create something on third down, obviously converted the fourth down pass. Now they've gotten the momentum on their side with that surprise onside kick.
Letty Brown in the battery with now Austin Kendall in it, quarterback here in the second half. They're going to take the shot and overthrows Sam James. So no surprise there. You get a momentum and a sudden change, take a shot.
Well, you're already in 4-down territory. I mean, Neil Brown has shown us that he is not only going to go for it on fourth down, he's going to pull out all the stops. So why not go ahead and take a shot on first down? Now you have second, third, and fourth to operate as you normally would.
Yep. Second in the full 10. Trying to ride the momentum of a QB switch here in the third period, and Austin Kendall. This is Brown. Boy, the Cadets rally nicely to the football. Just a couple of yards for Letty Brown on the carry. Nate Woody, the defensive coordinator of Army. Long college tenure. Appalachian State, Wofford, time at Georgia Tech. He's got these guys primed, Roddy, to stop the run.
He talked to us about how excited he is every day to come to work with these guys. They'd run through a brick wall for you. And it's what you would expect from the future leaders of our military. And these guys are a fearsome bunch. They've got some talent as well. Let's see if they can get a stop here on third down. Or at least keep West Virginia in what would be a fourth and long situation. They went with the crosser before.
Good matchup at the center and nose spot with Cockrell and Barrett for Army and West Virginia, respectively. Kendall from the pocket, now on the move and thrown, but the ball's caught, I believe, out of bounds by Wright.
So number 16, Winston Wright, caught out of bounds.
I know Neil Brown wants to be aggressive. I think this is a little too long to go for it on fourth down. Kendall identifies on the sideline and just throws this one a little too high and outside. And it's a nice job by Bordeaux pushing him out of bounds, gently nudging him out of bounds, assuring that he didn't come down in the field of play. Nice stop by this Army defense after the surprise onside.
So here is Sumter to punt. And Army will run away from it, and it takes a West Virginia bounce and keeps rolling. Wow. Back toward the 3 is where it will finally be touched up. 43-yard punt. Don't forget, tomorrow, Capital One Bowl Mania rolls on. The Verbo Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Bo Nix and Auburn against number 14 Northwestern. Coverage starts at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on ABC, and always on the ESPN app. Only the second meeting all time. 10 years ago in the Outback Bowl, Auburn won 38-35.
If I had to wager a guess, I don't think this one's going to be that high scoring.
So after the onside kick, West Virginia punts it deep into Army territory. Here are the Cadets from the 3. McCoy is the B-back. First man through. Sandon McCoy, fifth-year senior, the former Little Wonder out of A.L. Brown High School in Kannapolis, North Carolina, Roddy. One of the really cool nicknames in high school. The Little Wonders.
Certainly was. The guys out in front of him pushing the defenders away from him didn't exactly look like a little wonder. That was a big wonder. A couple of guys out there ushering him downfield.
Yeah, today Jacoby Buchanan, also one of those other important B-backs for Jeff Monken, unavailable today. But here's Anthony Atkins, who's played extensively today, chugging for a couple of yards. So it's 3rd and a yard now for Army, who's got this 5-point lead in the final 75 seconds of this third period.
Seen him have success with that off-tackle play. We've seen him have success with the quarterback run. See what they go with here.
Straight ahead, McCoy. And I think he will be measured to the 14, and if so, that would be enough for the first down.
Straight fullback dive there. You know, a lot of what this Army team does. Looks like Stuart Mullins is going to call for a measurement. Oh, nope, first down.
Yep.
First down, Army, 10 yards to go.
A lot of what this Army team does is based on making you think that there's a possibility of triple option.
Right.
And then dictating where the ball is going to go. A couple of fullback dives in the first three plays, we see him get a first down.
The sophomore Atkins stays in behind Tyler. Here's Tyler. And boy, ran into a ton of navy blue, didn't he, on the boundary side?
Tyler on the carry.
And Darius Cowan's done a nice job on the edge for West Virginia. Looks like we're going to go to the end of the fourth quarter, and we got ourselves a good one, partner.
We certainly do. Quarter 4 is next. West Virginia trails Army 21-16.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. The College Football Playoff Semifinals, New Year's Day on ESPN.
Well, on New Year's Eve night, we welcome you back to Memphis. Fourth quarter of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, Wes Durham, Aaron Owens, our producer, Adam Bryant, our director, and our great ESPN crew. Good ball game, 5-point contest. Second down and 10 for Army from its 13, and the Black Knights with a 5-point advantage. And Tyler tried to get to the edge, and West Virginia having none of it. Dante Stills and Nick Troy Fortune led the pursuit.
What a play by Dante Stills, getting down the line of scrimmage, able to bring down the quarterback and make it a 3rd and long.
10 yards to go for the Black Knights.
Tyler has not thrown a pass in this game, only 4 passes on the season. The 2 passes have come from Christian Anderson. Looks like Tyler's going to stay in the game. So the question is, what is Army going to do here with the quarterback that is the less proficient of the 2 through the air?
2 of 4 for 53 yards on the year. That's Howard in motion. Tyler spins back and got chopped down. Boy, some kind of play by Pooler, and then Jackie Matthews and Scotty Young also helping out, Roddy.
Yeah, that was a similar play to the one they scored on earlier. West Virginia did a nice job on the backside, expecting something like that to come. Staying disciplined, not pursuing the initial action, and being able to make the tackle on the front side.
Zach Harding in cut formation.
Here's the punt. And it'll hit about the 50. And just over the midline. And that's where the ball got down. And we got some extra pushing and shoving off the edge. West Virginia trails 5. The football for the Mountaineers when we come back. We welcome you back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Here in Memphis, early in period 4, the Black Knights of Army lead West Virginia 21-16. Don't forget, tomorrow you can choose coverage with the ESPN College Football Playoff Semifinals Megacast. Both games covered across 9 different presentations. You'll get all the visual angles and real-time stats, as well as a host of radio broadcast options. The ESPN CFP Semifinals Megacast on New Year's Day.
How many screens are you going to have set up, Wes?
3. I think I'm going to go 3 tomorrow.
I think 3 is pretty good. I think 3 is a good number.
4 would be a little overkill, perhaps. There's Kendall on a keep. First time we've seen Kendall run with it. Duran, who's had a big ball game for Army, makes the stop.
Well, Austin Kendall's not going to kill you in the run game. It's a good thing for West Virginia to at least show it. Show you're willing to do it, to try and create some more space for Letty Brown. I like the call by Neil Brown.
Letty Brown with Kendall in the battery for the Mountaineers at midfield. Couple minutes gone here in the 4th. Quick throw, middle of the field, Simmons, and it got dislodged by Cunningham. Whoa.
This is textbook Wes. In an age of targeting, watch what he does. Goes shoulder right into the chest of Simmons, is able to dislodge the football, create a 3rd and long. It's a really nice job by Cedric Cunningham.
Was Simmons litigating for the targeting?
I think anytime you take a big hit over the middle, you're going to litigate for it a little bit. You got to look for it, at least, ask the referee.
Right.
But well done by Cunningham.
All right, Black Knights trying to get the 3 and out. West Virginia's 7 of 13 on 3rd down. 3rd and the full 8 here. Kendall, and off the hands of Banks, the tight end, incomplete. Cunningham lurking again. Roddy, the drop numbers getting pretty big for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, drops have been a story of this game for West Virginia. Had quite a number in the first half. And in the second half here, Neil Brown has to be frustrated with his team not taking advantage of some of the opportunities because of not being able to catch the football.
It's amazing to me on that drive, guys, that Letty Brown, their first team all Big 12 running back, did not get 1 touch on that drive.
That's a good point, he would.
Cameron Jones will wait on the punt here of Tyler Sumter. And he'll hang it. Jones will signal for and make the fair catch around the 10. Army backed up again, but leads by 5, 4th quarter.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, brought to you by AutoZone. Free battery testing and charging at every store. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Well, as we work our way through Capital One Bowl Mania and all the venues where we bring you these postseason contests, special thanks to all of the men and women who've helped us bring you college football across the ESPN family of networks this fall, Roddy. The commitment, the production, just the overall sense of, hey, we're here to get it done and do it as safely and as securely as we can. And special thanks to everybody for being involved, not only here tonight in Memphis around the holiday, but throughout the fall campaign.
You hear our voices, see our faces, but there are thousands of people behind the scenes that make these things happen, especially in a challenging year like this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. In motion goes Walters, and straight ahead. Nothing too fancy there. Tonkery got a hand down. And you see Anthony Atkins.
And guys, Army has already had a couple of drives that ate up a significant amount of clock. They had a 13-play drive that took 8 minutes off to start the second half. And in the first half, a 14-play drive that took off 7 minutes. If they're able to get another one of those here, it's going to make it really tough for West Virginia. This is a huge drive for this West Virginia defense.
Roddy, the formation, the base look has been pretty tight today for Army out of what they typically do. There's Atkins tripped up, so 3rd and short will be coming up. Why so tight? Why so drawn in for Jeff Monken's team?
Well, you're able to get more bodies around, more angles, more blockers, and it gives you more options on how you want to block certain plays. It's what Jeff Monken wants to do. It's what this Army team has to do to be successful. Jeff Monken has evolved this thing since from his time at Georgia Tech with Paul Johnson to Georgia Southern all the way to Army. This has been an evolution.
Here is Tyler on the keep, falls across the 20. That'll be enough to convert, and it'll be a 1st down. Army is still under 200 yards of total offense in the ball game today. 168 is the number. Some people might be surprised. They've taken advantage of a turnover.
Yep.
They have done a good job of pacing this ball game.
They sure have. And this, again, they want to take the air out of the ball and force the opposing team's offense to feel the pressure of limited possessions. They've done that here in the second half. West Virginia's responded some, but this is a huge one.
Tyler on a toss. And not much there. In fact, a loss perhaps on the play. Samito took Murphy right out. And Jeff Monken in 7 years tonight, Roddy, if he wins, trying to join 3 other college football Hall of Fame coaches in Army's history to win 50 or more. It'd be Red Blake, Charles Daly, and Jim Young.
And what a job he has done. The culture that he's built at Army, the ability to evolve this offense, it's been absolutely incredible. And at some point, some Power 5 team is going to take a chance on Jeff Monken. And they're going to get a head coach that loves his players, has incredible culture within his program, and a ton of buy-in from his guys.
Barnard can't get much going there. And now West Virginia, after the 1st down achieved by Army at the 21, has done a really good job of stuffing the Black Knights on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah, especially on the past 2 plays. Now it's 3rd and 10. And again, with Tyre Tyler in the game, the options, no pun intended, for Army are limited. We've not seen him throw a ball in this game. It's going to be something in the run game. How do they manufacture 9 yards here?
That's McCoy, the B-back. That's Marshall in motion. Tyler going to keep, and he will get to about the 25 and still leaves him 7 short of the 1st down.
You got to give credit to this West Virginia defense.
Absolutely.
You could feel that they knew that this was a big drive for them. You got to get Army off the field. You can't let them have one of those death marches down the field. They're able to create it. Now Army was able to improve the field position a little bit, but West Virginia's still going to have pretty good starting field position.
Here's Zach Harding, the junior punter, who had a 57-yard kick in the 1st half. And Alex Sinkfield stands around the 35. Snap as the play clock expires, and you're going to call delay here.
You got a flinch out there on the perimeter by one of the gunners, if I'm not mistaken. Called on number 26, Quindrellin Hammonds,
right,
who was the gunner down here to the bottom of your screen. Got a little antsy there.
So Harding will wait again. Sinkfield moves up toward the 39 at the West Virginia end of the field. Again, the long count. And a good-looking punt by Harding. Sinkfield fields it at the 27. And pursued out of bounds at the 36. 5-point game, 8:21 to go on New Year's Eve night in Memphis. Back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania 21-16. The Black Knights of the Hudson lead the Mountaineers here in Memphis. Don't forget, tomorrow on ESPN at noon Eastern starts a huge day of college football. JT Daniels, number 9 Georgia, meet number 8 and undefeated Cincinnati in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Luke Fickle and Kirby Smart matching wits downtown Atlanta.
There's a lot of people interested in what Cincinnati does in that one. Georgia with a ton of opt-outs, but the feeling around that Georgia program is the young guys that are playing really are excited about having an opportunity in this one.
Austin Kendall, who's been the quarterback of record in the 2nd half, quick throw on 1st down, and low for Reese Smith, true freshman from Danville, Kentucky, who has 11 catches and had 4 of them in the season-opening win against Eastern Kentucky for the Mountaineers.
And that's a throw that Austin Kendall's going to have to make. It seems like this is going to be his game down the stretch after the struggles that Jarrett Dagey had in the 1st half. He's got to make that throw. Letty Brown has not touched the ball, didn't touch it on the last drive. He's in the Wildcat here.
In motion, that's Simmons, and this is Letty Brown out of the Wildcat. Not much there. Andre Carter, the 265-pound sophomore linebacker, makes the play for the Black Knights.
Well, it looked like he had a little bit of space on that right side, but you see on the backside, from the backside comes Carter, loops around and is able to make the play. It's 3rd and 8 now, and again, with your backup quarterback in, they've been able to hit some one-on-ones down the field, but that's when they've gotten man-to-man coverage.
Right.
The success on 3rd downs that they've had has been on crossers coming across the middle.
Austin Kendall comes back to the quarterback spot.
Looks like he may get man-to-man coverage to the top.
Kendall taking the deep shot and incomplete. Simmons was there, and a flag, I believe, was thrown. It just went into the bench area of the Army. Yes. Bryce Ford Wheaton was the intended receiver against
15-yard penalty.
Jabari Moore.
Yeah, and you get the double move in Moore's
Oh, yeah.
Going to get run away from, and it's smart in that situation to just pull the receiver. But again, Army going man-to-man coverage. West Virginia's going to be content to throw it down the field when you get those one-on-ones. They've shown that time and time again. So nice job by Austin Kendall of identifying it.
Eric, wouldn't you put it in number 4's hands here a little bit, though?
I would. You're talking about a guy that's got over 1,000 yards in the season, but give credit to this Army run defense. Only 42 rush yards given up today.
Kendall now. Winding around in the pocket. And he'll be chased out of bounds. Kwabena Bonsu, the defensive end, who was huge in the win against Air Force. That's the first time we've seen him out in space here.
And West Virginia might have gotten away with a little bit of a hold there with Kendall scrambling around in the background. And that was eerily similar to what we saw in the first half out of Jarrett Dagey. Just extending the play, not throwing the ball away. Austin Kendall is able to get outside enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. Create a 2nd and 10.
Guys, we haven't done as many games together this year as we did last year, but you guys know my biggest pet peeve for a quarterback as a former offensive lineman. Get rid of the ball in those situations. If you run out of bounds for no gain, that goes down as a sack. But they did give him 1 yard on the previous play. So his offensive linemen do not have to yell at him.
One of the biggest things we learned being with E. Wood is all sacks are not created equal.
No, they're not. We have been told and instructed accordingly.
And they did move that back to create.
Yep. Screen for Brown and another drop by West Virginia. And here's the thing. I like what Gerard Parker, the offensive coordinator, has got drawn up, Roddy. But the execution piece.
Yeah, I mean, the receivers have certainly not helped today. I just feel like with Austin Kendall in there, they're a little more limited with what they're doing than they were with Jarrett Dagey in the first half. But because of the mistakes that Dagey made, you've got to go with the backup, or they decided to go with the backup. I don't think Army, there's any chance you get man-to-man here. I think they're going to drop at least 7, maybe 8.
Army bringing 5, and the throw is made, and the catch for Sam James.
James inside the 40, brought down near the 38-yard line. First down.
They've been able to get receivers open when Army has tried to bring pressure. The pressure has not gotten there really all day. This offensive line doing a fantastic job, and James being able to track it in.
Hey, needed 12, got 13.
That's all you need. It's good awareness on the route, right at the sticks. Good pitch and catch to move the chains.
Headed towards 6 minutes to go in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Kendall hit as he throws, and the catch made by Simmons. Spectacular grab in traffic with Jabari Moore and Morrison both lurking for the Black Knights.
Off coverage, and it's Ford Wheaton on the slant. Delivery right into the number.
Yep, Bryce Ford Wheaton. Another quick throw by Kendall out on the perimeter. Ford Wheaton again, inside the 20 to the 19. And another first down coming up for West Virginia. Neil Brown knows the time is now, Roddy, for his club.
Yeah, absolutely. If you give the ball back to Army, you may never get it back if they're able to get one of those drives going. Here's the area of the field where Army's made it really difficult for West Virginia today. Have come up with a couple of big stops in the red zone. This is, again, one of the best red zone teams in the country. Coming in, they were 2nd in FBS in their red zone touchdown percentage allowed.
1st and 10. From the Army 20. Simmons in motion toward the bottom of your screen. Kendall for the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. T.J. Simmons, his 2nd touchdown catch of the night.
How about the backup, Austin Kendall, coming down and leading this drive? You're going to see the action's going to happen to the bottom. Simmons is on the inside, and it's just a post corner. It's easy. It's day one stuff for this Army defense. 2 guys take the post. There's nobody on the corner route, and West Virginia's going to go for 2 to try and go up by 3 points.
2 touchdowns in 4 second-half possessions for the Mountaineers and Austin Kendall, who's now thrown for 121 yards. Here's a reverse for the 2-point play, and this is Reese Smith into the end zone. So it's a 3-point game. West Virginia takes the lead just ahead of 5 minutes to go. Austin Kendall to T.J. Simmons. The Mountaineers in front in Memphis. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Don't forget there's more Capital One Bowl Mania coming up for you on Saturday on ESPN at noon. Number 23 NC State faces Kentucky in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. And over on ABC at 12:30. To Tampa you'll go. Ole Miss and number 11 Indiana in the Outback Bowl. Both games also available on the ESPN app. Indiana looking for its first bowl win since 1991. Two good ball games for you there. We got a good one here in Memphis with 5:10 to go. West Virginia has regained the lead on Austin Kendall's touchdown pass to T.J. Simmons. And the 2-point play gives us the 3-point margin. And Casey Legg hangs it high, and that ball goes out of bounds. A.J. Howard was there for the Black Knights. Stuart Mullins.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Okay, so Army is down 3. They have all 3 timeouts, as does West Virginia. 5:10 to play. Of note, Quinn Moretsky has kind of become the place kicker, Roddy. He and Salyers were kind of alternating earlier in the year. Moretsky's longest field goal is a 40-yarder against Navy. Christian Anderson has come in at the quarterback spot for Jeff Monken's team. Anderson thought about the pitch and will keep it for 4 before a die knocked him to the ground.
I think you have to give a lot of credit to this West Virginia defense today. They're starting this drive. Army only had 174 yards of total offense.
Right.
They run 54 plays, half of those, 27 on 2 drives. The other drives had netted no more than 6 plays. They've done a really nice job, with the exception of those 2 long ones. Army's going to have to obviously get something going here with less than 5 minutes on the clock.
And to your point, Roddy, they've done that without Tony Fields, number 1, who opted out before this game to pursue the NFL. He is their best player on defense, number 1 in the Big Ten in tackles per game.
Chris Cameron wide open on the throw from Christian Anderson inside the 30 to the West Virginia 29.
And this is why you bring Christian Anderson into the game. Just sneaks up the seam, does Chris Cameron. So you have the action of the toss, which we've seen over and over and over. Because Army has run that without running the play action, it just wears on your defensive backs, and their eyes get a little lazy, and they just need a split second to be able to hit it down the field.
First down and 10 at the Mountaineer 29-yard line. Anderson, that's Sandon McCoy. Banging away for 4 to the 25. Don't forget, Capital One postgame available on the ESPN app immediately following our ball game here at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. The 62nd annual AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Tahir Tyler has now come back in as the quarterback to replace Christian Anderson.
Christian Anderson, that was just his 3rd pass of the game. And that's what's so different about this offense for defensive backs. It's run, 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 but the pass can absolutely kill you if you let it go.
Here's Tyler. Oh, and got hit head on. And that was Tonkery. Dylan Tonkery making his 32nd career start. 5th-year senior from Bridgeport, West Virginia. 14th of his career at middle linebacker. He's fit right back in after letting Tony Fields run it during the regular season.
Yeah, he certainly has. 8 tackles on the day. That one his 9th, and Tahir Tyler's going to remember that one. That one's going to hurt.
3rd and short. 3 to go for the Black Knights. Tyler. And he will be pulled down by Tonkery again. Tried to go the boundary again, Roddy, and now 4th down.
He sure did. Tahir Tyler had nowhere to go. Once again, you get Dylan Tonkery And I think this is a little too far, and in this situation, you have to go for it. Excuse me, you have to kick the field goal. You can't go for it here. It's a little too far. You got to trust your kicker in what's just shy of a 40-yard field goal.
At a 40-yarder against Navy. This is just inside that to tie the ball game. Kick is away, and it's no good. Off to the left. A miss from 39 yards, and West Virginia has the lead with under 2 minutes to go. Army's got all 3 timeouts, as does WVU.
It just pulls this one a little bit. What a stop by this West Virginia defense. Again, talked about how good they had been with the exception of those 2. And as soon as he kicks it, Moretzky knows that it's going left. The West Virginia defense does as well. This game's not over. As you said, Army has all 3 timeouts. But with the first down, West Virginia can put the game away.
Well, our Capital One player of the game for the time being with 1:50 to go is Austin Kendall. Off the bench in the second half, Roddy, 2 touchdown passes. And Kendall has given West Virginia the lead. So congratulations to Austin Kendall, our Capital One player of the game. Letty Brown lowers the shoulder, picks up 5 to the 27. Maybe the most physical run for number 4 of the ball game.
Their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
And just when his team needed it too. The effort, the physicality to get the extra yards.
1:45, 1 minute 45
Closer and
seconds,
closer to
please.
that coveted first down.
What about Austin Kendall here, Roddy?
How about that?
Off the bench at the half?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the half. The decision to go with Austin Kendall and not Jared Dagey. We don't know if there's something ailing Dagey.
Right.
We've not been alerted if that's the case, but either way, the fifth-year senior from North Carolina, transfer from Oklahoma, Austin Kendall, his ability to come in, drive his team down, and despite some drops by his receivers, just kept grinding, made some big plays, and he's got his team in front with a chance to win this one.
17 of 20, Kendall, 121 yards, 2 scores. I got to believe this is not very difficult for Neil Brown. You put this in the hands of number 4.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And it is Letty Brown trying to get to the perimeter. And is taken down. Bordeaux handles the tackling for the Black Knights. And there's another timeout.
Their second of the half.
1 left for Jeff Monken with 98 seconds left to play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
And with the nature of this Army offense, I think West Virginia is going to be perfectly content to keep the ball on the ground. The question is, though, we've seen Austin Kendall pull it once. This may be a good time to have him pull it for the second time.
Well, for Army, this is the down.
This is it. You've got to get a stop here. That's exactly, those guys know that. Nate Woody and his team knows that. They have battled during this game. They've created turnovers. West Virginia's been able to move the ball. They've stood up in the red zone a few times. But it all comes down to this. The hopes for Army rely on this play right here.
Neil Brown, who had in the previous 27 times as a head coach when trailing in the fourth quarter was 3-24. Trying to spur that percentage and come up with his first postseason win as the head coach of the Mountaineers. They hand the ball to Brown. Straight ahead, Spencer Jones filling that role of John Radigan, who's unavailable to play today, makes the stop.
30-second timeout.
And now with 94 seconds left, Roddy, here we go.
Army's going to have another shot. This is a team that we've seen them go shotgun at times this year, but certainly not a proficient passing offense. It's not something that they do often.
Well, if you need Sumter to blast one, that's number 1 if you're Neil Brown, and fast.
Exactly.
Right?
Got to have a fast operation, a clean operation on a day where we haven't gotten a lot of rain during the game.
Right.
But it's rained all day, and it is chilly out there. Although I wouldn't know that. He would.
Yeah, Eric's our meteorologist on call on the sideline. Sumter's averaging 42 yards on the 3 punts he's had here in the ball game today. Cameron Jones is deep for Army. And the punt is away, and Jones will signal for and make the fair catch right around the 31-yard line. So Army is out of timeouts and 1:28 to go. 40-yard punt.
And if you're West Virginia, here's where you need that front that's played so well today. Vandarius Cowan, we've seen him all over the place today. Jeffrey Pooler, the defensive end, Darius and Dante Stills, you need them to dominate your matchups and get pressure on Christian Anderson. Watch the legs of Anderson as well and how much they come into play.
Roddy, here goes the gun. Shotgun for Anderson. That's Marshall in motion. Quick throw, catch made, and banged around Caterbone.
It's a good effort to get out of bounds and stop the clock there by Caterbone.
Second down, second and 4.
Anderson again. Now he's going to keep, needs a block. Pushes it to the 45 and dumped over in midfield. Clock moves. Stops with 1:16. They'll move the chains. 13-yard run for Anderson.
Trying to get everybody set up. It's a tight formation. See if they opt to run a play or they spike it here.
Here's a toss. And around the edge and knocked out of bounds is Walters.
It's a wise decision to just call the play. You do the pitch to the boundary. You rely on Walters to get out of bounds, and he does that.
Walters to the 47-yard line. Again, second down.
It's a good operation so far by Army. Keeping this West Virginia defense, making them still respect all parts of that offense. So you get a shot there at Dante Stills, who's looking to make that play to end the game.
2nd and 7. Anderson gets back under center. And he'll look to throw here. Take the shot, looking back downfield and incomplete. Caterbone was the closest Black Knight to the throw. And now with 59 seconds, you got 2 snaps.
Yeah, you gotta get that near your receiver and give him a chance. There's a couple of things that can go your way in that situation. Even if you underthrow it, maybe you get a pass interference penalty, but no shot when that ball isn't close.
So here is 3rd down and 7. Anderson, is he going to try and scramble for it? He does not get much, if any. And now it's come down to the final snap. The clock runs with 49 seconds.
They're going to have to go quickly here. It's a nice job by the West Virginia defensive line of keeping them in. You don't have to throw it, but pass the sticks. Hopefully get out of bounds if you're Army, but most importantly is a first down.
Anderson's going to throw, middle of the field, and intercepted. Samito comes away with the pick, and West Virginia is going to win the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
West Virginia had this sniffed out all the way. You had a little bit of time for Anderson in the backfield. Tries to deliver it downfield. A nice job by this West Virginia defense. Again, the job that they did, with the exception of the 2 long drives, was fantastic today. Keeping Army to 239 yards of total offense, 182 yards of rushing for an offense that was averaging 281 coming into this game. What a job by this team, West Virginia, and this defense especially, the improvements that they made from year 1 to year 2. And by the way, Wes, this was a game that wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
Army had its bowl game canceled. West Virginia kudos to them and their administration for embracing the change after Tennessee had to come out of the game.
Yep.
Giving Army an opportunity to play. Class act by West Virginia, by Neil Brown. Congratulations to them on the bowl win.
Absolutely. West Virginia's going to finish 6-4. Army 9-3. Great to be with Roddy Jones and Eric Wood. Aaron Owens, our producer. Adam Bryant, our director. The final score, West Virginia 24, Army 21. The Mountaineers, winners of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Coming up next, the college football scoreboard.
Thanks for watching this special presentation of ESPN, home of the college football playoff semifinals on New Year's Day.
Stay tuned for the Capital One postgame. Welcome to the ESPN app postgame, presented by Capital One. West Virginia a winner over Army 24-21, and the alma mater being played of the United States Military Academy at West Point, and the respectful gesture of the winning Mountaineers to honor that for the Black Knights, who were valiant here today. A tremendous ball game between West Virginia and Army. Roddy,
well, it's an excellent gesture from West Virginia to Army. Army had a fantastic season. 9 wins for this program is obviously an accomplishment. West Virginia, what a class act by them.
Yep.
Agreeing to have Army come playing a triple option team on short notice.
Yep.
Neil Brown embracing the fact that Army deserved a bowl game. He felt like it was important for his guys to play against guys that stand for something like Army does, the sacrifice that they're going to make for our country. And his team played well today. His team deserved the win. That defense especially came up big.
Second half, spectacular. Fourth quarter in particular for Brown and the Mountaineers. And their Capital One rewarding performance belongs to number 12, Austin Kendall. Hadn't played much during the course of the year, Roddy. Got the call in the second half from Neil Brown, and he delivered.
Jarek Dagey struggled some in the first half, turned the ball over a couple of times. You got to credit Austin Kendall. Came in, was able to deliver in clutch time. This pass put him ahead to TJ Simmons. What a job by the fifth-year senior, playing in what could be his last game. Obviously, everybody gets the opportunity to come back, but if this is the way that Austin Kendall is going to end his West Virginia career, what a job by him.
Boy, no question about it. And the Mountaineers get the delivery they wanted from this AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Roddy. They were talking about trampolining, if you will, off 2020 into 2021.
You look at this offense, you go down the depth chart, quarterback, lineman, running back, receivers, they got a lot coming back. This West Virginia team is going to be one of the favorites outside of Oklahoma, of course. Oklahoma has ruled this conference, but it's going to be one of those favorites for that 2, 3, 4 slot come next season because of what they've got coming back, because of the improvement they made from year 1 to year 2 under Neil Brown.
Well, Neil Brown in his second year now gets to celebrate a bowl win. And for Brown, well, guess what? He goes to 4-0 in bowl games. He won postseason 3 times as the coach of the Troy Trojans, and now in his second year at Morgantown, the native of Danville, Kentucky, picks up a postseason win.
Well, you know, when we talked to him just about his team, he said, look, the Iowa State game, I can't even explain what happened there. We played terribly. These guys are excited to get that taste out of their mouth, and they certainly did. This is a West Virginia team that if you look at the big turnarounds in the Big 12, Iowa State, Baylor, they are on the same track as those two were.
Yeah, no question about it. So West Virginia, Roddy, defensively, Darius Stills gets to write the final chapter of his Mountaineer career too.
First team All-American. Dad was a great at West Virginia. Had an opportunity to maybe opt out of this bowl game, but said, no. I'm one day going to make my home in West Virginia. I love this school. I'm from right down the road. I get to play with my brother one last time. We've been playing together for 15 years. I'm going to do it again here today, and he gets to go out a winner. Just what a story, man.
Yep. So the Mountaineers are champions of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
First, I'd like to
pay tribute to a wonderful game.
This is Steve Earhart of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
We're proud to have them in the 62nd AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And now to present the trophy to the victorious Mountaineers, I'd like to introduce Bill Giles. Bill, if you present the trophy to Coach Brown and the Mountaineers.
Coach, congratulations on an incredible game. Congratulations to your team. Great season. AutoZone Liberty Bowl is yours. Congratulations.
You win the Liberty Bowl, you get the Liberty Bell.
Yeah. Well, the history of this great game. Born in the Northeast, came to Memphis, 62nd time it's been staged. West Virginia in two of their previous visits. One was actually in Atlantic City. The only year it was in Atlantic City, Roddy. The Mountaineers played Utah, 1964. They actually played the game indoors at the Atlantic City Convention Center. Utah won the ball game 32-6. The last time they were here was 6 seasons ago. They lost an 8-point ball game to Texas Tech. But today, Neil Brown celebrates his first win as West Virginia's head coach in a bowl game and his fourth in his coaching career as the Mountaineers beat Army 24-21. We told you about Kendall's second half performance. Letty Brown, 20 carries, 65 yards, but in some ways, Letty Brown played a valuable piece in what happened here today.
Yeah, he did. It was Austin Kendall's arm down the stretch that was able to power this West Virginia team, but when you needed plays made to take away some of the steam out of this West Virginia offense to be able to move and to drain the clock, Letty Brown came up with some big runs. He has been such a big part of what they've done this year as you get a look at Darius Stills embracing his head coach, Neil Brown congratulating his guys.
Yep. So we know we're going to get some of the victorious Mountaineers here in just a moment, and hopefully head coach Neil Brown to join Eric Wood downstairs on the floor of the Liberty Bowl. But West Virginia, 322 yards on 69 plays, roughly 90 yards better than Army, who ran 4 less plays for only 239 yards, and it shows you just how good West Virginia is, number 1 in the Big 12 and 5th nationally in total defense, to hold Army, who was averaging 281 yards of rushing, to almost 100 yards less than that here today.
The 5th in the nation in total defense. I mean, that's in the Big 12. That's a
Right.
Big 12 defense that's done that with the offenses that they have. It's quite the job by Neil Brown. And remember, they lost their defensive coordinator before the season. This is a team that has done it kind of as a unit. Had some great contributions from a lot of the different coaches, Jordan Leslie and Jamal Adai being the guys calling the defense. It was a great performance by Neil Brown's team all season, and this defense especially. The improvement that they made there, the improvement that they made in the run game really powered them to this 6-win year. And in a normal year, they got a couple more wins on there too.
Yep. And the other thing too, if you're Neil Brown, you got to feel good about 2020 and the way it finishes, and especially, and Roddy, he's not the only coach that hopes for some degree of normal with spring and an off-season program to potentially move you into 2021.
And they've got some reinforcements coming on the offensive line as well to try and improve that. Jarrett Dagey, who was so efficient for much of the season, took such good care of the ball, with the exception of here today. And you see the emotion by Darius Stills.
Sure.
This is the team that he grew up rooting for. Grew up in Fairmont, West Virginia, just down the road.
Let's go downstairs. Eric Wood with Neil Brown. Eric.
Coach, congrats on the win. Talk about the play of Austin Kendall filling in the second half. He comes in and makes the plays to win you the game.
Yeah, you know, what a game, right? And credit Army, hell of competitors over there, and a lot of respect for what Coach Monken and that crew has done. And it was a battle. It wasn't very pretty, but we found a way. And, you know, Jared has played well for us the whole season, just uncharacteristic in the first half. The last 2 drives, just not his best football, put us in a bad position. Austin has really practiced well for about the last 6 weeks, and it's just proof to me, if you have a good attitude and you just keep working, and whenever your spot comes, to make the most out of it. And I thought he did that today. 2 big touchdown passes and led to 2 touchdown drives that won the game for sure.
When Darius Steele said he was going to play in this game, I thought that might have been more of a formality, a guy who plays a few plays. I didn't see him come off the field the entire game, getting his legs cut out. Talk about being led like by a senior like Darius.
Well, and I told you all during the week too, is he was our best practice player.
Right.
For the last 2 weeks or whatever during bowl prep. Here's the kid. The kid's from Fairmont. Father played here. Mother is an outstanding lady. She's the toughest one in the family, and you know, it means a lot to him to put this uniform on. Unique situation playing with his brother for the last time. And he went out and battled. He battled and made a ton of plays. And I don't know who they're giving the MVP trophy to, but I think he needs to be in the discussion.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the bowl win.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations to Neil Brown and West Virginia on the win. Darius Steele's Roddy may have a hard time taking that jersey off tonight.
You can see the emotion on his face, man. I remember that feeling of playing your last game. The team you grew up rooting for, the team your dad played for. Right. Good for Darius.
Yep. Congratulations to West Virginia. Happy New Year, everyone. For Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, our crew, Wes Durham from Memphis at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Good night.